City of mine, how I love the city of mine. It never gets me down, city of mine. This is me somewhere, in between my vlogging. I was having a conversation today with my brother, and then he said, I've never seen hair that eats better than us. Because he was like, your hair eats organic eggs. Because I do treatment with that. So anyway, it's my hair.
City, I was raised on its edges. My pop worked his life when it's complex. I found love in its center. If I could live here forever, think it'd be for the better. I love the weather, even though it's fog 24/7. I love the people. This is city. I met all my best friends, and I wanna thank every break. I wanna thank.
I have a couple of white hair. So, guys, you don't need much, okay? My hair is always in twist, so I use this. Just my hair is always in twist, so I will unravel one twist and then I will just pull it when it's like maybe like 40% wet. It has to be wet, okay? And then I will just stretch it like that, okay? I will blow out the hair by pulling it, and that's it. That's all I do. I don't do chemical and all of these things. I've been natural for how many years? More than 10 years, okay? So this is a shampoo, organics. This one is a coconut curls shampoo. I have this other shampoo, guys. First time that I'm using it. It's not bad, but I think I prefer the other one, depending on how your hair feels, okay? It's one of the conditioners from the same brand that I also use, okay? I also have this one, the conditioner that I use. So after I let the treatment on my hair for maybe like 4 or 5 hours, depending what I'm doing, I'm probably doing chores, cooking, all of that. After that, I shampoo my hair and then I deep condition it with one of the conditioners. And then the deep conditioning is probably going to stay there for another 2-3 hours, and then I wash my hair. Okay. The longer your hair gets, you have to wash it in twists, because I can wash it in an Afro state, right? Because it gets bigger and then it tangles. So the comb that I use on the regular basis is this one. Back home, I have a bigger one, but for some reason I did not bring it. And then I use this one if I want to part my hair, okay? Because it makes it easier. I don't use the small ones. One of the things that I use for my scalp is the rosemary scalp and hair strengthening oil. I mean, guys, I barely use it, so don't think, this is one of the reasons my hair is growing. Barely use it. I barely use anything on my scalp, but when I do, I use this one. Another thing that I use that you guys, I think I've shown you just to you before, is this leave-in conditioner. This is a mixture. I did like a little concoction of, let me show you guys what's inside. So I did a little bit of, concoction. I don't know if you guys can see that. Wait. It doesn't smell as good, but it's really good for the body and the hair. So that mixture is a combination of sweet almond oil, organic virgin coconut oil, and shea butter. I got this one. Usually I don't use this one, okay? It's my first time buying this type of shea butter in this container. I usually get the one that looks super organic, and it's like a block. It's just big. But I did not find that on Amazon. So if you have essential oil, you can put some drop, like tea tree oil. You can put some drops so that it preserves it better. So that's what I do. I haven't combed the hair, but if I do, it gets super big, which we don't want it to be too big. Anyway, so I'm gonna fluff it a little bit. So guys, I have the mirror there, so I'm gonna fluff it. No. By the time I go, it's gonna be even bigger. Oh no. Okay, we're not gonna fluff it. We're just gonna leave it like that. I think we're just gonna leave it like that. Because by the time you get outside, oh my god, the humidity is just gonna get bigger. Like, it's not even a joke, it's just gonna get bigger. Before you guys ask, why am I not wearing my hair out? I do. I just don't film all the time that I wear my hair out, okay? I did a blowout. I went out, came back. The only reason I'm doing this on YouTube is because I did on Instagram and people were like, what the heck? Let us know what you're using. So I figured I will also share with you guys. So That's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hey guys, today's another day. Just woke up. I slept at like 5 a.m. Guys, 5 a.m. Lately, I've been doing a little bit of investing in the stock market, all of these things. So it's been keeping me busy. But I did not do any investing overnight. I just studied. And then I also studied about trading and everything. If you guys are doing it, let me know so that we can, chit chat in the comment section. But anyway, that's what I was doing. Just studying, like studying, the stock market, all of these things. Anyway, so I have to go shopping. I have to leave. I told you guys that I was moving. Did I tell you I was moving? I'm moving. So I have to go shopping for 1 or 2 things. Probably gonna stop by, get a smoothie or something like that. And then, yeah. I feel like my voice is still working. I woke up at like 12. 12, guys. Guys, so this is where I'm going. Guys, so I just ordered some crepes, whatever. You guys are gonna see what it looks like. Guys, I had such a good conversation. I'm gonna go outside. I'm waiting for the thing to come, and then I'm gonna step outside because of the music. But I had such a good conversation with somebody, a 56-year-old man, and then he's Chinese American. We had such a good conversation, which I can't wait to tell you guys about. Oh, that's mine. Oh, thank you. Yeah. let me just take this one first. Guys, so I'm sitting outside. If my hair is looking funny, don't mind me. Like the wind is doing his own thing. Okay. So let me talk about the conversation that I had with this 60, not 60, 56-year-old man. Okay. Got to find out that not only he's a businessman, but he owns a couple of properties here in Houston, and he's 56 years old. It's been a couple of years that he hasn't been working because he was really smart about investing his money. Um, he used to work in the oil and gas industry. He worked there for, he worked in the oil and gas for maybe like 20 years. And then he told me, we had such a good conversation, and he told me he doesn't remember in the 18 years that because I think he did accounting before, and then oil and gas now. He's a millionaire. And then he was like, in the 18 years that he was working in oil and gas, he doesn't remember what his life was like in Houston. All he remembers is he made money, but he doesn't remember, like, how was life, whatever. One thing that I've learned in life is that you can learn from the people that you never even expected to learn from. This man is so simple in the way he appears, really simple. Like, you wouldn't even think this man, like, nothing. And he stays in one of the Airbnb properties. He doesn't have a house in the US because he moved back to China to take care of his parents. His parents, his dad passed away in the he was 90 something years old, and his mom is still alive at 88 years old. Um, so he's taking care of his mom and he's traveling. But one of the conversations that we had is really, when you're young in your 20s, you have the stamina, you have the energy to travel, but you broke, right? You don't have the money. You in your 30s, you're trying to figure out, you're trying to be stable, right? Financially stable, and you're trying to be more financially literate. And then you cannot afford to just go on vacation for the sake of going on vacation, because otherwise you're not planning for your retirement. And then when you get to your 40s, 50s, and you have really worked hard, now that you want to travel, you don't have, maybe your knees are hurting, or maybe something is hurting. Anyway, something is hurting. So we're talking about that, right? And I was telling him, I said, sometimes I'm asking myself the question, how much is too much in terms of when you're ambitious and you want to invest, how much is too much for real? And because he wants to buy another property. The guy doesn't have any children, and he's not married. And then I was just like, dude, you financially more than stable. how much is too much for real? Because I've been thinking about that, because in my 20s I was all about, my brain was processing money, 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 money. You just want to balance life. Like, you want to be able to enjoy, but you also want to be able to work hard and save, for when you're older. And at the same time, you don't even know if you're going to live up to 80 years old or whatever. So we're talking about that. And it was such a good conversation. I think we talked for maybe like an hour. It was supposed to be a hi, how you doing? And then we ended up talking for like an hour. And then he actually pulled a chair, and he sat down, because we were really like in it, right? He was trying to figure out whether he should buy another property, and then I'm trying to figure out whether I should have something more stable here in the US versus Cameroon, right? Because I'm investing, I feel like I'm 90% in my investment. I mean, I want to say 80% of my investment is Cameroon, right? And I do understand the whole thing about diversifying your portfolio, whatever, which to a certain extent, my businesses are diversified. I do many things, right? So I just don't have one, I don't invest in one specific industry. But at the same time, we're talking about Airbnb, and he's not, into Airbnb. He actually has a couple of houses that he purchased back in maybe 2010, 2012. And then he's doing long-term leasing, right? I think he said the way he set up his contract is in such way that tenants will have to rent at least 2 years upfront, right? Like they sign a lease for 2 years, um, and then he's making money, right? And then he has a property manager. He has somebody who actually manages the tenants, and from those, I think he has 3 or 4 houses here in Houston. And then he was saying that he's not going to be doing Airbnb because Airbnb takes a lot more effort, a lot more work. And it got me thinking, right? Maybe instead of Airbnb, um, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? I don't know. I've just been split, because I think if I was in the position where I saw myself living in the US long term, retiring here, I think it would be a different conversation, right? But because I know my future is not going to be here, and I know I'm just here for the moment, just like I told him, I was like, because he was talking about he worked for oil and gas for 18 years and it was a blur. He doesn't remember what he did. All he remembers is that he was working, and he regrets that part of his life because he feels like he didn't get to enjoy as much. And I think in the US, I have the same position, right? Like, whenever I'm here and whenever I come here, it's because of, money, because of contracts and things like that. I've gotten to the point of my life where I wasn't happy back then when I was working my 9 to 5, my corporate American job. I wasn't happy, it wasn't enough for me. And I know there are some people who are satisfied with that, right? You have a 9 to 5 and then you enjoy on the weekends, blah, blah, blah. That was never me, right? I was never content with that. I always wanted more. Yeah. So we were talking about that. It was such a good conversation because you get to learn from different people, from different folks, from different background. Because he's from China, naturalized American, and he gave me his perspective when it comes to investment and things like that. One thing that he said is that now that he has the money, he has more than enough. He doesn't have to work a day in his life anymore. And then he always wanted to travel left and right, but now he's unable to do it as much because he does. I mean, sometimes the knees be hurting. Okay, so he was saying that he doesn't have the stamina to do the type of intensive, like go to like Tanzania, go to the safari there and things like that. He was like, no, I just want to go to the beach and lay down. I don't want to think about going up and down, visiting places. I should have done that when I was young. And I told him, I said, but when you were young, you were hustling. For you to be in your 50s and be financially free and have you know not have to work a day in your life again, is because you work hard, but you don't have the body. The body is not bodying the way it's supposed to at a certain age. So yeah, it's really conflicting, right? Because you wish that in your 30s you would have had so much money, or you have so much money that you could travel and work hard at the same time, but you don't. You have to make a choice. Do I want to travel or do I want to make money? It's really that. And then when you do travel, it has to be calculated, right? So yeah. Anyway, it was such a good conversation. because lately with the way the stock market, the housing market, everything has been crashing, even the dollar. Gosh, the dollar, everything is crashing here, okay? Even the job market. A lot of people, including me, have been thinking about how to make sure that we are still financially okay, and how can we actually take advantage of this crisis, right? So a lot of conversation about that recently, and I've been in those conversations with different type of people and trying to figure out, do I want to invest more here in the US versus Cameroon, for example? And and it's not just Cameroon. I think I'm investing in Cameroon, building stuff, real estate, and all of these things. I have a school. I think I'm investing more there just because I'm Cameroonian. I come from there, and yeah. So yeah, I've been thinking about that. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, I wanted to go for dinner someplace, but I feel like by the time I finish eating this crap, I'm gonna be full. So I don't have food at home. I'm gonna be cooking, and then I don't know if I want to cook actually. I'll probably go someplace and grab some food at the restaurant or something. That's probably what I'm gonna do. Anyway, let me know what you think, guys. Let me know if you, with everything that's going on. I mean, if you live in America, right? Are you trying to make different financial decisions? Are you trying to invest, or are you trying to stop? Like anything. Like you don't want to invest in the stock market, don't want to invest into real estate, don't want to invest into anything. But I think lately, a lot of people, a lot of people also lost money in crypto, right? A lot of people lost money and stuff like that. So the market is crashing, and we have to be smart about how we're going to put our money. Another thing that I've also been, you know, thinking of and actively working on is not just keeping cash, right? Not just holding cash in my saving accounts because it's not producing a dime, but actually putting it in a high yield saving account. So I'm working on all of these things, okay? Because you want to make sure that your money is working for you. There's no point for you to keep your money in the bank and that money is not producing a dime. So maybe I will make an entire video about it when everything is settled. I just feel like lately I've been moving a lot of things, you know. So guys, so I finished my snack. I just sat outside, seriously. I just chilled. And then I realized that when I was recording, I mean the part I was recording, the camera was angled in the wrong way. I mean, if you guys are watching this part, it means that I already posted the other part. But the camera was just, not ideal. Anyway, no big deal. At least you could see my face a little bit. So I'm trying to make a decision whether I want to go home. On my way home, grab some food. I wanted to get the Thai food, but I changed my mind. I just feel like I don't want to eat Thai. Being a woman is really hard. So I'm thinking I want to grab some food on my way home because I don't have food at home, and then I want to grab some wine as well, or I can just go to a bar, restaurant, whatever, sit there, eat some seafood, drink some cocktails, and then call it a night. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I'll let you know what I decided. This is what I picked up. Some wine. I don't know if you guys can see that. If I'm looking this way, it's because there's a mirror there, and I can see you guys in the mirror. But anyway, this is what I picked up. I'm gonna put it in the freezer, and then I'm gonna have it. I bought some to go. I mean, I took some to go food at the Thai restaurant, so that's what I'm gonna have. One thing that I was supposed to do today was my hair. Okay, I wanted to do crochet braids, and I'm still planning. I'm still planning. To do that. I've been wearing my hair out natural, my natural state, whatever, for 3 days. And it's, getting bigger and bigger, which is fine. Okay, it's fine. If I spray some water, it's gonna shrink and it's gonna be like freaking out for. But so I want to do some crochet braids. I was supposed to do it today, but I knew eventually it wasn't gonna happen. So let's see if tomorrow I can do that. But what I have to do, I told you guys at some point that I was moving. So the reason why I'm moving is because somebody actually want to rent the entire house. When you do an Airbnb business, you have to be open, you have to be flexible. And guys, I'm trying to be flexible, okay? I'm trying to be like, you know what? I follow the money. So there was an opportunity for somebody, I think it's like some colleagues It's like a company that send their people to work in Houston, and then there are four of them, so they're gonna be renting this entire house for a good amount. So the deal was good. That's the reason why I'm leaving, and I'm going to the other property. I'm gonna start the other property. So bottom line, that's the reason why I'm moving. Okay. The people who are renting this house, they're going to rent it for a couple of months. So I'm going to be staying at the other house. However, I might just be moving again. Okay. I might just be moving again. So that's that. Anyway, what else was I going to say? If you guys have questions, blah, 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 let me know. I feel like, it is what it is. Oh, let me start packing up because that's the goal today. I'm just going to put a movie on it. I mean, from Netflix. I haven't watched, there's so many movies that I've been catching up on. So I'm going to watch a movie while I'm packing, while I'm sipping my wine. Anyway, I love you guys and I'll see you in the next vlog.